Hi friends, I missed you all, and so I thought I would come in to do a very informal, we're just sitting on the couch, reading update. There's not really much life update. I'm still packing. I will be moving in the next 2 weeks, I think. And yeah, just packing when I can. It's more complicated with a chronic illness and I've had some friends come over and help, which has been really, really helpful. And I have a couple of friends planning to come this next week. So, yeah, I feel pretty good about it. I feel like I'm getting rid of a lot of stuff, which was the point because I'm going to a smaller place. And a lot of the stuff that I have is stuff I don't need, like stuff I don't use. So, yeah, we're trying some decluttering, getting rid of. If I can't think of a place that I'll put it in the new place, there's not, the only option for storing in the basement is going to be for decorations, like Christmas decorations and things like that. But yeah, otherwise I don't want anything that's really just stored for no reason. If you know what I mean. I don't know. Anyway, I want to update you on what I've been reading, which hasn't been much. I've listened to 2 audiobooks and read 1 physical book, and I'm putting another physical book I'm returning it to the library. I've been packing this morning and going up and down the stairs, and so I'm a little brain fogged, a little just dizzy. That's pretty much how I'll describe it. But I really wanted to come on and just let you know what I've been reading and check in. So for my audiobooks, I did finish listening to Chloe by Connie Briscoe. This book is a NetGalley book for me, and I had started it before it came out, but if you've been following around, I don't have an e-reader, although I did find one. It was a tablet my mom had. I'm not sure if I can get it to work, but we'll see. But I did not have an e-reader. So I was reading it on my phone, and I really just trying to not stare at my phone because it just hurts your neck. I had neck pain for a while, not related to reading the book, but just being on our phones, right? And then I just decided I would wait for the audiobook. So it was released, I think, early March, mid-March, maybe. And it's a modern Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. That's kind of how it's promoted. Which Rebecca is one of my favorite novels and is due a reread for me. I saw the connections to Chloe to Rebecca, sort of. I think it was just in the basics, honestly. So Chloe is about Angel, who is a chef at a really upscale restaurant in, I think, Washington, D.C. And she is hired by this elite Black family to come to, was it the Hamptons, that's it. I think it's the Hamptons, and be their chef every summer. And she takes the job even though they're not very nice. I mean, the wife of the family that hires her is not very nice to her. But she does it because she has some connection to the Hamptons and the island that they go to. And when she's there, during the summer we're reading it, she meets a wealthy Black entrepreneur who is like the most eligible bachelor, is kind of how the wife of the family she works for describes him, because he is a widow. And his wife has been dead for, I think, about a year at the time that they meet. And it kind of goes from there. And I liked the story. I think for me, and maybe it's just a phase I'm going through, because several books that I read in March gave me a similar feeling. And I've got one, the physical read that I did finish, also left me this way. The ending felt kind of flat. Like it had all this buildup to kind of figuring out what happened to his first wife, who is named Chloe. But it just didn't sit well with me. And it made me think, okay, do I need to reread Rebecca? Would that ending sit okay with me now? I don't know. But I gave it 3 stars, and mainly it was a 4-star through like 3/4 of the book. And then the ending, did not like it. Yeah, didn't like the ending. Like some of the decisions that Angel made at the end just didn't make sense to me from the character that we meet and follow through the first 3/4 of the book. So, yeah, I thought it was interesting concept. Like I said, it was a good book through most of it. And others might find the ending completely satisfactory. So if you're interested, the audiobook is really good. And that's Chloe by Connie Briscoe. The other audiobook I listened to, I actually listened to over the last 2 days, pretty much all in one day packing. And that was The House of My Mother by Sherry Frankie. And this is her memoir about her mom, life with her mom. And I didn't know anything about Ruby Frankie before she was arrested. She was a mommy vlogger, a Mormon mommy vlogger. And she basically raised her children in a strict way. And then when she started vlogging and saw the revenue that she could bring in through vlogging, her kind of demands of the children got more stringent and more kind of ridiculous. And then she meets Jody Hildebrandt, who was also arrested with her. And I like the memoir. I know some people don't rate memoirs. I do, just for, if I think it's really bad, I'm not really bad writing or something like that, but it is someone's story. So it's not necessarily a rating of the content. It's more of the writing and the presentation of the story. But I did rate it 5 stars because I thought that the way that she did her story was very direct and not really accusatory. She just states the facts and tries to see things from other angles, like her father's involvement in everything that happened. And also, the involvement of her brother. She only names her brother, the one, so she's oldest of, I think, 6, and he's the oldest boy, so they're close in age. She does not name the 4 younger siblings who it seems like most of the physical and emotional abuse was done to. Yeah, I thought it was a compelling read. I mean, I listened to it. I wanted to listen, like I wanted to pack. And that's what I need right now. I need audiobooks that make me want to listen to it and make me want to get up and pack so I can listen to it. So yeah, highly recommend that. She narrates herself. Yeah, so if you're curious about, I don't know where the trial is. I did hear recently that, so Ruby Franke was found guilty or did a plea of guilty. I can't remember. But she is in jail. And then I did recently see in the news that Jodi Hildebrandt is trying to get out of her culpability in it. So we'll see. You'll have to follow the news for that. But it's pretty recent. It does go all the way through to the conviction and kind of how the family is dealing with everything after. Her siblings could not be returned to the father because he knew and allowed this to happen. So there's kind of working through the courts and things like that, but kind of trying to reestablish a family unit as much as they can. And Sherry is now a college student in her 20s, I think. So if you're interested in knowing more about what happened on that in that household, go for it. And there is a connection. She does make a connection between, I guess they were kind of the same group, Ruby Franke and Lori Vallow, who killed her 2 children. Yeah, so there's that as well. The physical read I finished was Creation Lake by Rachel Kushner. This took me 2 weeks to read. It's not super long, but I just haven't been, like when I go to bed at night, I don't read because I'm too tired. And when I rest during the day, I don't want to read. I don't want to hold a book. I don't want to read. So it did take me a while to get through this. This is about a former CIA spy, basically, operative, who lost her job with the government and goes private, freelance, and is working on a case of infiltrating a cultish type group that is in France. And we go through like what happened at the CIA, why she lost her job, the ins and outs of the current case, the players in it, and the person who's hired her is anonymous. They don't know. She doesn't know who it is. It leaves some things hanging, which I do like in most books. But again, this was one that I felt like we were leading up to something big, which you are, but it just wasn't as monumental as I felt. And it may have been my reading of it taking so long that wasn't sticking with me, or the buildup of it wasn't, I wasn't feeling it because I was taking so long to read it. I don't know, but I didn't get the audio for this because the wait at my library is really long. I thought I liked the writing and liked the story enough, and liked the way that Kushner, like described and developed her characters. I like the way that she tells a story. I didn't like the main character, which in her current case, they call her Sadie. So I ended up giving this 4 stars. Yeah, I liked the detail of it, and I liked kind of where it was going and where it went. I just felt like the ending was kind of meh. So anyway, that is Creation Lake by Rachel Kushner. I was reading this because it was on the Carol Shields Prize for Fiction long list. It did not make the short list. It was on the Women's Prize for Fiction long list last year, I think, or maybe I'm making that up. I know it was on, okay, so it's, maybe it was on the Booker list. I can't remember. All the lists are getting confused to me. But anyway, read that one. I would recommend to anyone who likes a cultish book or things that are kind of not directly explained, and unlikable characters, because Sadie was definitely unlikable. And then I did try to read Persians by, I have to look inside because it's Sanam Malauji. The sticker's covering it right here. I just tried to read this. It is due at the library tomorrow. I tried reading it last night and I couldn't get into it. And then I tried reading it again today. And there's 3 timelines of 3 generations of women in this family. And I just really don't have the brain power right now to keep everybody straight. And that's a me thing. So instead of trying to read through this and potentially not like it, because I like the writing style was great. And if we stayed in the first or second perspective, I would probably keep going. But when we added grandma's story, I just started getting confused. And that, like I said, is a me thing. This is on the, now I'm trying to remember. This is on the Women's Prize for Fiction shortlist. It was longlisted, shortlisted. And yeah, I'll just have to get it back out. There's no renewals on it because a lot of people are interested in reading it. It's a new release. So that's kind of my reading life right now. I am going to try to read All Fours by Miranda July. This was longlisted on the Women's Prize and Carol Shields Prize, and it has been shortlisted on both lists as well. I'm not sure that the story is for me, but I have it, so I'll try it. I also did get a Book of the Month box, even after I told you all I wasn't going to do it, but I did. Mainly because there was a book that was talked about in our book club chat. And it sounded interesting to me, but I don't read synopses very often. And mainly because they spoil things. This one, however, I probably should have, but you know, I can't know. But this Broken Country by Claire Leslie Hall was my add-on for this month in Book of the Month. And I'm still going to try it, but I know it starts off with an animal being killed, a dog specifically. That is in the synopsis because I read the synopsis after I got it. And then, yeah, so I'm going to try it. And this definitely doesn't change. Someone in our book club who gives great recommendations, I'm still going to listen to her recommendations. This is totally a me thing about killing animals. So I'm going to try it at some point, maybe not now. I also got, as my pick, is The Sun Was Electric Light by Rachel Morton. This is apparently a Book of the Month exclusive. So it has a main character who is disillusioned with her life in New York. She returns to a lake town in Guatemala where she had been happy a decade earlier. And then her meeting two women, and she finds work as a nanny in a local family, and then as a teacher, English teacher. So it sounded interesting to me. It's not very long. And yeah, like I said, it just sounded interesting. So, and then I also had some Pango credits, and I was watching a video from Chloe at Always Booked, and she was doing an unhaul. And one of the books that she unhauled is a book that sounded really interesting to me, and that is The Kingdoms of Savannah by George Dawes Green. And this, I really love Savannah, and just kind of the historic, ghostly history of it. It is, you know, very complex and challenging history as a main port of Georgia, of the U.S., really. And this tells the story of a crime and, you know, following that. The first line in the synopsis says, Savannah may appear to be some town out of a fable with its vine flowers, turret mansions, and ghost tours that romanticize the city's history. But look deeper and you'll uncover secrets, past and present, that tell a more sinister tale. And that's kind of the intro into this book, and it intrigues me. So I thought I would get it. I also got a couple of other books from Chloe that are gifts, so I'm not going to show you. So yeah, and I also love that cover. It's really, really cool. That's my update. That's kind of where we're at. Like I said, I'm moving in less than 2 weeks, and I'm thinking probably the next video you will see will be in my new place. It will probably still look like all boxes, because that's the thing. Once I move and there's no timeline to unbox stuff, unpack stuff, I'm not going to rush it because I have a chronic illness that doesn't give me a lot of energy, and I'm also expecting to be totally worn out from packing and moving and the stress of it all. So I really appreciate y'all being here and the messages that y'all have sent me, comments, things like that, that have been really, really important to me. Like I said, I just missed y'all, and so I thought I would come on for an update. Hope you all are doing well, and I'll see you hopefully in a couple weeks. Bye.